Welcome back, everybody, to Rain on Your Parade with J.L. Cauvin. I am J.L. Cauvin, here as always with producer Mike and Frankie, the assistant producer, because Mike loves to jump in and steal that and not allow me time to properly introduce assistant producer / intern / dog, Frankie.
Hi, everybody. Hi, JL. Frankie says hello as well. Have you recovered yet from this Gaga experience?
I think I have.
Okay, good. And then
I got the clip today from
down.
you,
Yeah.
and it was I feel like you almost clipped that, not because it would be the greatest clip, but because it was a perfect summary.
Watch it back and tell me if it's not the greatest clip.
I mean, it's very good. It gets the Scarface, it gets the self-loathing, I felt like it was a great clip for if we were being nominated for best self-destructive podcast of the year.
Yeah.
But knowing my followers, no Trump.
Yeah.
No Trump. Nothing about me. Oh, no. So happy to be here. People are asking for visual of Frankie.
You want to show him? You can show him.
Well, he's your dog child.
You're more than welcome to put Frankie on camera.
Oh. Ugh. Come here, Frankie.
He's coming.
Wow. Wow. Frankie, that's not good work. Hello, buddy. Hey, everybody. This is Frankie. Mike just got injured and broke some things, but that's what we do for you on this show.
And I won't edit that out.
Yes, and what Mike is thinking right now, hey, buddy, don't you kiss me, okay? I have a girl dog who kisses me. I'm not one of these gay dog people. Okay, Frankie.
Is that enough?
Yeah,
enough for Frankie?
He's good.
Okay, come on back.
All right. So
Give
we do it for the fans.
Yep.
We do it for the fans. Thank you, Mike. You risked
welcome.
limb and property for that.
Almost broke my foot on this microphone stand. Come back here, Frankie.
Frankie, no, we're not going for the junk. So clickety clack, go back to Mike. Hey, buddy. Oh, okay. Can you guys see? Can you see? Hey. Do you see those people? Is this good podcasting? Baseball, and baseball, New Jersey, and Gaga. There. Now I think we just got negative views based on our past. Okay. See, and that's why, folks, you're never going to get Frankie again. We gave it to you, but it's, he's a little bit of a diva. He's still learning his way. He's a combo diva and intern.
Almost tore down the studio.
Yeah. So, Mike, I was in Chicago this weekend.
You were telling me. I need to hear more about this.
Yeah. Because I now have a full-time job, thank you, fans, I couldn't do my usual train trip to Chicago, where I would leave on a Friday afternoon, arrive Saturday morning, barely rested, but at least not fearing for my life. And I had to fly. So I fly out of Newark, and which, let me tell you something, everybody, Newark, New Jersey, the rumors are true. Rudest TSA staff I've ever encountered. They were rough. And hey, Mike.
Yes.
Important message, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
Just because
I'm sending a text message and it's bothering you.
No. It's not that. It's I hate telling stories to myself.
I'll be back in 1 second. I'm listening. I'm handling things for my job that pays my rent.
Sure. Well, I pay for Frankie's food. Farmer's Dog, by the way, not a sponsor. Pretty expensive. So Newark to Chicago. So what happened was, now I can reveal the truth because I didn't want to talk about my flights because I feared I'd jinx it. And what people don't realize about fear of flying, it's not rational. And there's only one thing to fear about flying. I don't fear the queasiness of elevation or the bad food or will I sit next to somebody rude. I fear death. That's the fear of flying. That seems to be a mystery for a lot of people, but that's the fear of flying. You need to take a break?
No, good.
Okay, good. And so for about 2 weeks, ever since I booked the flight, when I gave the client through the agent a what I would require, because it was kind of a last minute booking, relatively speaking, I said, I need X. They won't take that. They won't accept that. Mm-hmm. And then I don't have to fly. That's what fear of flying can be, folks, where you're like, I would rather not have more money this month and just feel comfortable and not have my heart race and palms get sweaty with mom's spaghetti. And instead, so I think the Gaga concert from last week's episode, I'm not going to lie, I really think my mood has been overall sour for like 2 weeks because what was weighing on if you fly every week or twice a month, it doesn't become a big deal. I can speak from experience of this, but when you haven't flown in 7 years, it's like this big thing circled on your, I contemplated writing a will, like something that would count legally, and putting it in my desk with like Laura written on the envelope. So when they're going through my things, she could open it up and it would just say, "You get nothing." Kidding. But so I got an early flight out of Newark, and it was the smoothest flight. It was one of the 2 or 3 smoothest flights of my entire life. So I was only nervous for the 2 weeks leading up to it, but for the hour and 50 minutes we were in the air, chill. I read, it was
That's
pretty
anxiety,
good.
Baby.
Yeah. But what I will say is something's changed in the 7 years, and I keep talking about how our society is devolving. It was a flight to Chicago, not a flight to South Africa. Mm-hmm. 3 people took shits at my bathroom. There was a first class bathroom and a rear bathroom.
Maybe they were anxious.
The one thing I'm more anxious about than flying is shitting in public.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'll take a shit on a train when I'm anxious.
Yeah, right on your seat.
Yeah.
But no, and that's not really anxiety. That's if I'm sick, I'll do it. Like there's no like I can't. It's more like no, I don't want to. There's a difference. Like that's not anxiety. But what I'm saying is watching 3 people I was like, what's wrong with us? You can check out more on my recent blog post. You Are Where You Shit is the title. But it starts to stink, and I was like, oh, I've been bashing Greyhound and Amtrak so long. It's very easy to be like, oh, it's so gross when you're traveling that way. Apparently, a nice flight to on United is just a 7-Eleven rest stop. It was gross. Stunk. I'm just saying. But the good thing about that is that I'm not sitting there going, oh no, we're flying. I'm focused on what pieces of shit.
It's better. Yeah.
And you realize, like Michael Jordan, I made this comparison before, like Michael Jordan, anger is my fuel to greatness. Mm-hmm. And so we land in Chicago. And here's the thing about flying, folks. It's not just turbulence you have to worry about now. You have to worry, is there a military helicopter going to fucking crash? Because when we would descend, sorry, I know Mike hates this.
No, it's okay. Good content.
When we would descend, that's when I chill. I don't even care if it gets bumpy on the descent. I go, we're going in the right direction. This is the end part of the flight.
I'm closer to the ground.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm all good.
Yeah.
Nope. Fine.
Yeah.
Taking off. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yep.
That was the wheel going into the plane. You're sure we're not dead? We're not in heaven right now? But descent, we could be flipping over. I'm like, it's fine. Nobody ever dies from a plane doing a 360. We're on our descent. Everything is okay. But now you got to worry, like landing. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it. Like the shit in DC. We've had so many recent, like a high percentage relatively, I think, of aviation fuck-ups and crashes. There was like a huge one in India. There was last year before I took the train to Toronto, the plane from Minnesota to Toronto that landed upside down.
Yeah.
There's the air traffic controllers who 2 days before I flew out of Newark were like, we had to shut down the airport again because we don't know what we're doing.
Yep.
So there has been more of that to trigger fear of flying people. So now until I'm like in the airport, I'm like, okay, we did it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, which that used to not be. I used to have a nice 30 to 35 minute grace period of like, turbulence no longer bothers me because we're on our way down.
Yeah.
So I do this gig in Chicago. You can hear more about it on the Patreon. Okay, I guess you're not going to hear about it then. But it was a beautiful house. 2 days before I got booked for this thing, I could infer what it was, but it was like a 50th birthday party for people who love Trump. And there comes a point when a 76 6-year-old drunk woman is sitting on your lap demanding a picture, that you say, what's going on here? This is what this is the GOAT presidential impersonator, other than maybe the guy R.I.P. who played Bush on The Tonight Show. That guy, I think it was Steve Rogers. He was phenomenal. One of the Mount Rushmore presidential impersonator.
Who else is on it?
It's Rich Little.
Okay.
I think you probably, for the variety,
Carvey.
maybe you have to throw, that is a great one.
Yeah.
The HW is my favorite SNL presidential impersonation.
Yeah.
But then you have like a Daryl Hammond who got,
Clinton.
but he did Clinton, he did some Trump. But I'm going to say Rich Little has to be there for Nixon. That's your George Washington.
Right.
You go, this is good content, by the way. Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, by the way, always a crowd pleaser on audio. It never fails. It's like an always have in your back pocket. If you can pull out a Mount Rushmore, it gets everybody talking. Everybody's invested.
It's the listicle of social media.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
But, okay, so Rich Little, Mount Rushmore of presidential impersonators. Rich Little, Nixon, there's your Washington. Has to be there. I would argue, because you're going to really dig deep into SNL, but I'm going to say this guy, and I apologize if this wasn't his name. I know he passed away. I want to say his name was Steve Rogers. He did Bush. He did it at the Presidential Correspondence Dinner for Bush. Mm-hmm. He was on the Tonight Show like 100 times.
Bush 1?
No, Bush 2.
Huh.
Yeah, he was great. As like, he probably made millions on the corporate circuit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he was clean. He kept it within bounds. I mean, if he's doing it for George W. Bush, then you know it's like it. But it was mockery still. Yeah. I'm putting him. I know he's like a lower level, but just on pure excellence of the impression. And then it comes down to, I'm obviously the 4th spot. So the question is, who gets that number 2 spot?
Steve Bridges.
Thank you, Steve Bridges. Phenomenal. Look him up. Really funny. Really good. And really got the prosthetics and stuff. Mm-hmm. Really, I don't even know what he actually looked like when he wasn't Bush. I'm going to say, for just personal preference, Dana Carvey, George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm sure there were good Reagans, but I loved Dana Carvey's HW.
That was the first one that came to mind for me.
Wouldn't be because what he did was, unlike Will Ferrell's George W. Bush, which was like funny, and it was just like,
there's so much more irreverent.
And this is his creation.
Yeah.
He's like not going for he's going for a couple of ticks and then making it his own character, which is fine. I've done that with some impressions. But Dana Carvey's HW was a combo of like pretty accurate and also its own character.
Yeah.
Like he actually managed to be both.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Kind of like I do with Trump, if we're being honest. So there it is. There's your Mount Rushmore of presidential impersonators. Yeah. It's a great honor, everybody, to have been named. So thank you. But the show was great. They loved me, which you always leave with like some, like, I don't know. It's not survivor's guilt. It's like fat wallet guilt. Mm-hmm. And then took a flight home in the morning, very early again. And by the way, didn't sleep more than 4 hours for that's why we have to do it tonight. I had to cancel our usual night to record because I had gotten like 17 hours, like 18 hours sleep over 5 nights throughout this thing.
Yeah, not good.
Not good. And the what do you call it? The flight coming back, there was like 90 seconds of very light turbulence. And I was just like, of course. Yeah. In my mind, I'm going, of course. I made tons of money.
It's all over.
I got the U.S. Open tickets. I got my Rangers season tickets just waiting for me to use them and enjoy. And this is how it ends. Mm-hmm. And it did not end. We landed safely. It was probably a top 10 smoothest flight of my life.
Yeah.
But you know, flying is terrifying. I'm sorry.
Yes,
it just is.
It's so funny that you brought up before that it's an irrational fear. I'm starting to wonder why it's an irrational fear.
Well, I think irrational meaning like data should tell you that it's safer than you don't fear getting in a car or riding your butt. Like all these things
are those personal? Are those anecdotal? Are they personal? Like in terms of all right, so data, does that mean that like because I am likely to fly less than I am in a car that it's safer? Or is it flights in comparison to cars?
Well, all I know is they say you are more likely to be struck by lightning than be in a plane crash.
Right. Okay.
And that's pretty good. And then I go, you know who also heard that? People in plane crashes.
Right. Right. And lately it has been happening way more.
It feels like there's an uptick.
Yes. Unless it's just something that
Doge, baby. I think they're, you know, I don't know what the deal is really, but I always think to myself, every plane crash that's ever happened, many people on that flight were like shitting themselves, screaming, crying, and then a few people have a moment of clarity. I'd like to think I'd be one of these people that goes, oh, it's so fucking safe.
Yeah, I know. I would do that. When I was in my emergency landing, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is my 5th flight ever. And I'm on a plane making an emergency landing.
You did have, that's why you don't like flying.
My flight back to Dallas.
What happened? Can you share?
We never talked about this on the air.
You did say you had a flight, like you have a reason.
So I was always afraid of flying. I had only flown a few times in my life up until I think this happened in 2018, maybe. It was a couple of years before COVID. I was working for Betches at the time. And Betches had a show that was starting to do live podcasts in other parts of the country.
Yep.
So they basically booked this room in Dallas and we were going to do this show down there. And it happened so fast that basically they were just like, all right, great. Mike's going to fly down as a producer, blah, blah, blah. Like he'll run the show and blah, blah, blah. And before I like left the room, I was like, shit, I guess I'm going to Dallas. So I made the decision that I was going to use this trip to finally get over my fear. And I was going to say, you know what? Like, I'm going to have to get over this. I'm going to have to fly. And this is like a reason to go.
The plane crash victims version of, it's my last week till I retire from the force.
In a way. Like, well, I just like I was still dating my ex at the time whose family was in California, who I hadn't met, who I didn't end up meeting at all. But like in my in my mind, I was like, I'm going to have to, and I was still more firmly in the comedy world and in the industry. I was like, I'm probably going to have to go to LA at some point to do some stuff. So I was like, I have to get over this. So that was the plan for me. I'm going to use this trip to get over it. So we go down, the flight on the way down. I'm like so nervous going. It ends up being like a great flight. There's no turbulence. We're kind of up, we're down. And I was like, you know what, Matt? Maybe that wasn't that bad. Maybe I'm making like something out of nothing. And hopefully the flight back, like,
that's a rookie mistake. See, I never drop character till I do the DVD commentary. I don't drop it until I'm home.
Yeah.
So I'm never fully relaxed on a vacation or trip because it's looming.
I agree with that. That's one of the reasons that I don't love to travel. Cause like, I feel like I realize once I get to the place, I'm going to have to get back.
Yeah.
So you can't really, I feel the same exact way.
As gross as people find my cross country train rides, you know what I'm never thinking of when I'm enjoying my vacation?
I'm going to crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I agree. So on the way back.
And there was a train crash. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to make light, seriously. Like these are genuine fears. But there was a train crash where people died on a train that I was going to be on like 4 days later. Never lost a minute of sleep.
Yeah.
It's just the flying. Like it's claustrophobic. And I have like an extra legroom seat. But I'm sorry, but continue.
So we get this plane back.
Should we have like a therapist on the show at some point?
And I'm trying to get us over it.
Or even just what would you do? Even if you don't want to give us a free sesh, what would you do? Like, can you talk?
I mean, I've been trying to work through it with my therapist. And I mean, I think at the end of the day, the only way you can get over it is like getting on the flight.
What worked for me was flying regularly.
Right. I think you just start to do it enough that you're just like, whatever.
Yeah. You hear that, club
immersion
owners?
Therapy? Yeah.
Get me some gigs. And I got to fly.
But we fly back to from Dallas. We're going back to New York, and there's this big storm over Long Island, I guess, and the flight gets delayed for the first time. I hate those. Yeah. The flight gets delayed for the first time, and we're like, all right, you know what? Like, it'll be fine as long as this thing is at, like, they wouldn't send us up without fucking knowing that. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, we get up there. We're like 2 hours into the flight.
Frankie, by the way, just perked up like he knows this is like
the bad news is coming.
The tough moment.
So we're back on the East Coast, but we're still south. Mm-hmm. So we're over, I guess, like North Carolina, maybe, or some Virginia, somewhere.
Sure.
And the pilot gets on, and he's like kind of frantic, and he's like, "All right, folks, there's a storm over New York. We're not going to be able to land there. We got to get the plane down because it's like a fuel." He said something about how we don't have enough fuel. He didn't say it like that, but he's like, "We don't have enough fuel. Basically, we got to get the plane down." And he's like, "We're gonna go to." We're going to land in Baltimore.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So I feel the plane like dropping. And the guy's like trying to get the plane
drop it like it's hot. Yeah. Okay.
And then he's like, all right, Baltimore's all full, so we're going to have to go to Richmond. And the plane is just like, and we're making like a quick turn.
Like the pilot's version of a supermarket parking lot is our version of, are we going to die?
Yeah. And eventually we get the plane down.
And that's, by the way, Baltimore to Richmond, just for getting back sucks.
Yeah.
You could be like, Baltimore, quick train ride.
I told them, I was like, I want to get off. When we landed, I was like, I need to get off the plane. I need to get off this plane. I'm going to I'll rent a car. I'll take a train. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going back up in the air. And they wouldn't let me off because I guess there's like an insurance. I guess they have to get you to your destination.
Wow.
For whatever legal.
Coscarelli final destination.
Yeah. So the ticket has to get you from Dallas to New York.
That's insane.
You can't get off.
That's insane.
You can't get off the plane. And
I feel like they're lying. They were lying to you.
They could have.
Because,
I mean, maybe
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to punch the flight attendant. Do you still bring me to New York? Right. Or do you kick me off the plane?
Well, I guess like with hindsight, the way that I look back at it now, I'm assuming that if they're not going to deplane everybody, then they can't like get me to a terminal and just get me off the plane.
Think of the wrongful death lawsuit your family would have had if your plane
had crashed. And I begged them to get off the plane. Yeah. I don't think anybody would have known. I mean, they might have assumed.
The black box. What's that? It sounds like some bitch is crying in the background trying to get off the plane.
Dude, it was bad though.
No, my thing when I was a regular flyer, like I remember doing gigs in the South, and if you're in the South in the summer, it's just like, okay, we got to wait because for the next 45 minutes there are clouds that will feel like brick walls if we try to fly through them, and you're like, you get like, but then you talk yourself into the pilots don't want to the pilots want to go home. Everybody wants to do this safely. And then you hear a story in Europe where a pilot who is suicidal flies 300 people into a mountain.
Right.
And you go, I guess not every pilot wants to get home.
That was a Lufthansa flight?
I think so.
Yeah.
Talk about a Lufthansa heist.
Jimmy! We did it, you son of a bitch! This is the arrogance that comes with landing and being home again after. There's like a high. Yeah.
There's
like a loopy.
Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm going to make fun of all the people who died in planes.
No,
not at all. Bad karma and just bad manners. But yeah, I got home and I was like exhausted, and it's like a combo of not sleeping, but like 2 weeks of stress built up. So that's what I will do. And I was going to come in with my Anton Chigurh wig, and just have him go, so you went to, you gave up your principles to go to a club to make money. You gave up your fear of flying. You didn't go to see your girlfriend's sister in Texas though, but for money you would do it. That's what it felt like. I kept thinking to myself, I haven't flown with Laura places. I haven't flown to certain things.
Yeah. More Laura guilt.
But I'm flying for money from MAGA wallets. Now, I have turned down explicit MAGA Republican gigs. And like I said, this was one where it was like I didn't know till 48 hours ahead of time. And I was like, too late now, right?
Yeah.
I'm locked in, right?
Yeah.
But the idea of breaking my flying curse, because I looked at this money and said, there's my quarterly tax payment.
Yeah.
Like I felt like some like shady, broke former star going like, I gotta take this gig. The IRS is up my ass.
Yeah.
They're not really. I have the money to pay regardless.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking, is this bad? Is this bad that I'm flying? I haven't flown. Oh, come to the Texas State Fair. We'll stay with my sister. I'm good. Oh, come out to this guy. I'll take the train. I'll see you in 3 days.
Yeah.
Will you take the train to Florida with me? Because I'm a psycho. What's that? You want to pay me how much? I'll be on. I will. I will get in the Wright brothers fucking plane and take 8 hours in a cloud to get there.
Yeah.
But that's why the flip side of this, and this, I mean, this might just be fear of flying. I have some other stuff to talk about, but this is a very long intro.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we'll do like a Pulp Fiction. This is actually the middle section going first. What was I going to say before I see it? This is the problem.
Well, I thought we were going to do private equity today.
We are. That's what's on the list. But I feel like people might actually like, people who fear flying will probably enjoy this. And people who don't fear flying will probably find it mildly interesting getting in the headspace.
Well, it's funny.
In the headspace of people who fear flying.
People do tend to ask me, like, there are people that don't understand why I'm afraid of it. And on the flip side of that, I don't understand why people aren't afraid of it.
That's
it's
what I
such
always
a
say.
Foreign concept to me. The idea that people are just like, when I run into people, that are like, I don't, it doesn't bother me. I just put like a sleep mask on. I just go to sleep. I'm like, what? If I could do that, I would fly everywhere.
I do like talking to people on planes. That helps me even when we hit turbulence.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, that's why I think the flip side is why I'm so enamored with like space travel and astronauts.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God. Like The Right Stuff by Tom Wolfe.
Yep.
Writer of my favorite fiction book of all time, The Bonfire of the Vanities. It is beyond a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
As a comedian who worked as a district attorney in the Bronx, an assistant DA in the Bronx, that book is about that.
Mm-hmm.
I could not write a book as funny or as accurate. And I fucking do comedy and was a prosecutor there.
Yeah.
That's how good that book is. But like, he wrote The Right Stuff. And one of the things is courage is overcoming fear. Now, I'm not calling myself a hero, but I overcame my fear for my pursuit of money to get on that plane. Kind of heroic. The Right Stuff, what they're referencing is these guys don't have that. They're not actually overcoming a fear, most of them. Yeah. That was kind of what The Right Stuff was. It was just like, there is a new challenge, adventure, a thing nobody's done.
And they're in.
I do that.
Yeah, right.
That I am like Tom Cruise does not fear anything.
Right.
And that's part of, I think, why we fucking dig Tom Cruise. It's like, what do you need? You need me to nearly drown in this one? You need me to climb the world's tallest building as a fucking 53-year-old man?
Right.
You need me to go, nearly drown and then hang on the side of a plane at 61 years old for real? Yeah. I make movies, man.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yep.
There's no time for fear.
Yep.
But that's, I think, part of why we love Tom Cruise. I love the challenge of getting up and going into space and maybe dying. Like, he's going to do something in space next. And that's not a joke. I think that is he literally is like, what's the next thing to do? And so that's why, like, astronauts, The Right Stuff. In the movie First Man, deeply, deeply underrated Damien Chazelle movie. Yeah. It is awesome.
Yeah. Gosling? Gosling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Neil Armstrong.
One of the last great movie stars.
This movie, I saw it in IMAX, and the funniest thing, this is before I blew up on social media, but I wrote, we're sitting there, and I'm mesmerized by this fucking movie. It's both great and visually amazing. Like the moon landing, what he did with this on the IMAX, I was like, oh. And you see the fucking Winnebago that they took to the moon. And I'm going, are you fucking kidding me? They're in the middle of space.
Yeah.
And they're in what looks like a glorified camper.
Yeah.
How do you not sweat these people? How do you not go, holy shit?
Yeah.
because that's way beyond fear of flying. That's like I would pass out and wake up when we get back home.
Yeah.
That's how like distressed and loopy I'd be.
Yeah.
But for them to do it, and during that, they're about to land on the moon, like right, and a person's cell phone went off in the theater.
Oh.
And I was just like, I looked at Laura and said, here it is. This is art, what we're watching. Not just the movie, but the juxtaposition of we're watching one of the greatest feats in the history of our planet and species. Ring, 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 ring. Technology interfering with our appreciation of where we've come from. Perfect. Yeah. But it was movie was incredible. And I posted that on Twitter, and somebody wrote, were you at 68th and Broadway? And I was like, yes, you were there. Wasn't it fucked up when the phone went off?
That's crazy.
It was crazy that maybe he followed, maybe it was a random follow or something, but I don't think the person followed me. I think they may have just been like, what are people saying about First Man? He was like, yeah, I was there. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
But now people would be like, what? Chill, Grandpa. It's just a cell phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, shows, everybody. That's your segment on Fear of Flying with Mike and JL. Will fear of flying be a big topic, or will it be our next baseball? Find out in a few days. But I do have some big shows coming up. I always say this, but they are big. 2 in DC on October 4th. 2 shows, Saturday, October 4th in DC. Would love to sell those out. I mean, I sold out 3 of 4 shows, basically, the last time I was in DC. So I would like to think I could sell out 2 shows. But maybe we'll find out, Mike, that my career is even sinking even lower than I know.
Well,
October 22nd, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's a very big one for me. Please tell your friends, if you're within an hour of Philly, you got to come to that show, please. And then December 28th, Charlotte. And if you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan, I'll be 10 rows behind center ice the next night in Raleigh for the Rangers Hurricanes game. Isn't that cool?
Yes, game.
Just telling it, well, Hurricanes. And I'm like, Canes games?
Yeah.
Canes game? Anyway, guys, let's take a break. I think, what's that on the, oh, sorry. I do need to darken the mood a little bit, seriously.
Okay.
I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget. A fan that I met through the Black Guy Who Tips, her screen name was Coqui Negra. 2 words. I want to say her name was Kim. It's one of those things where you just don't even know. You just interact with them with their screen name, and very big supporter. I first heard her as a guest on Rod, the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. And I actually suggested she should have a regular show if they would do it, because she was such an informative, good guest on she was a doctor, I think. I don't know if she was a medical doctor. I think she was like a research doctor. But she was a great guest. And then she was following me on social media, and she always had very funny and nice things to say. She was kind of an avid consumer of my stuff and sharer of my stuff. And you remember those, especially when you're me. The only thing you remember more than the people who slight you are the smaller number of people who actually support you and lift you up and share your shit. And found out on Facebook through posts that she passed away.
Oh.
And it was one of those things, it's such a weird place we're in now, because this is a person who I was genuinely sad, and I'd never met her. Never had a private conversation, just nice, pleasant, supportive interactions on social media. And you only find out, like, if you couldn't tag this person, you know what I mean? I might not still know. But I saw all her friends that are not my friends, like, sharing posts because she was tagged in it. And it was just very sad. It's a weird thing because I believe she listened to the podcast. And it's just, I always bitch about fans and stuff, but it's like, it hurts to lose one that, who was like a genuinely supportive, good person who enjoyed your work. So R.I.P. Coqui Negra. Kim, I believe. I'm only going off of her friend's post, but they kept calling her Kim, I believe. So very sad. And fear of flying, passing of fans, my gigs, tragedies, they come in threes. So we'll take a break. And we're back, everybody. Frankie, how was that break for you? How does my leg smell? Whoa. Frankie is not a low T dog. That is a deep bark.
He has some deep barks for sure.
Nice.
Just like his namesake, Frank Sinatra.
Hey, my dad always liked Tony. My dad always liked Tony Bennett, and he would say that Frank Sinatra just talk sang.
Oh, get out of here. That's ridiculous.
Hey, I'm Tony Bennett, and I'm just over here, San Francisco. Hey, Gaga, come here and do some jazz. Doobity-boo-be-doo-be-doo. Hey, I love Lady Gaga. All right.
It just sounds like Springsteen.
No. That's Springsteen. Hey, that's Bennett.
Okay, got it.
You don't have the ear. I'm sorry.
I guess
you don't
I
have the ear. We were going to talk about, and we should talk about it a little bit. I just finished this book called Bad Company, which is not about the group Bad Company, whose hit single Bad Company was off of their title album Bad Company.
Yeah, that's right.
I still love that, and it's a good song. Do you not like it?
I don't like Bad Company. I think they suck.
I said the song. It's too close.
I hate them.
It's too close to Foreigner.
Yeah, Bad Company and Foreigner and Boston are like all in the same. I hate Boston. Boston's a band that I hate so much. They're all in the same like category.
Absolutely
for me.
not. Absolutely not.
I think so.
More than a feeling is a masterpiece.
It's not a masterpiece.
It is.
I can tell you.
Wow. No, you cannot tell me.
I can.
Foreigner I can accept, of course. They're not that good.
No, they're not that good.
Right.
Neither is Bad Company.
No, but I know one Bad Company song.
Bad Company.
Yeah, but I like that it's a slow build. I always like a slow build. And then Boston, you're just speaking gibberish right now.
You love Boston?
Yes, I think that, you know why? More than a feeling, I love that song. Love it. Like one of my favorite songs. And Brad Delp, who I think had one of the great voices in rock. Like legitimately great
he's
voice.
got like a rock voice that is like a parody of a rock voice to me.
But it's hard to be a pair. I feel like, but they were 1975. I don't know what he would have been like in hindsight, you could say he was parodying, but how much would he have been
when I think of like a
Private Equity coming soon.
When I think of like a dorky rock band from the 70s, I think of Boston. And I do think of Bad Company and Foreigner. You know, they're just these like they're bands that dads love, but don't have to me. Like, I like the Eagles, even though I think the Eagles are like a quintessential dad rock band. But the Eagles have there's like a gear that these other bands just they don't possess.
Sure, but Brad Delp was his voice was something special. Sorry.
All right. I mean, it's an unsolvable conflict.
Here's how much I like. It's not. It's solved. Here's how much I like him. When I looked him up, I was like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
He killed himself in 2009, I want to say.
Oh, that's sad.
And I actually wrote on social media years ago, I said, so a guy with Brad Delp's voice took his own life.
Yeah.
And you're still out here doing comedy with what you've got?
Yeah.
You know, you always try to make comedians who annoy you feel terrible.
Right.
That's really what it's about.
Right.
It's love of the craft.
It's the industry.
Private Equity, folks. This book is called Bad Company. Not a book. I'm not going to go down that road. That was literally why we went down that road. I made my one Bad Company joke. By Megan Greenwell, I hope is her name. My handwriting stinks. I should have been a doctor with my handwriting. And I wanted to read this. I read this book, and I'll review it in more detail on the Patreon. But
Megan Greenwell, yep.
Megan Greenwell, perfect. But the thing about it is, I wanted to read this book because anecdotally, we all sort of know that private equity is a monster. It's not. I'm sure there are some examples where it's worked out, but when private equity comes to town, it's like Omar showing up in The Wire. You should just run away. Your job is going away. Your favorite business is going under. They're going to get richer. And it is the most bizarre system ever set up, where it's basically if you're a private equity firm, your income gets taxed at the carried interest rate, not as income. So that's an advantage. You get fees whether when you take over a company, you borrow money from banks. You don't put up most of the money. And the company owes the debt, not you. Isn't that a wonderful way to be in business? Like if I show up to Blackstone, let's say, the biggest real estate owner and like private equity company in the country, I believe.
Just around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy with a gun was in there recently.
Well, I think he was in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CTE.
Yeah.
And now probably private equity has probably like bought his corpse and is renting money. Well, he's not. He did die. He killed himself.
Yep.
So they've bought his body using bank loans.
Yep.
And if the business fails, his family will have to pay the debt. That's how private equity works. And they get a fee.
Yeah.
They get their fee for doing their work. And I'm sure somebody in finance would be able to point like, no, there have been useful examples of this, but like anything we do in this country, something starts as a, should we do this or should we not? And then people are like, well, we have these 4 good examples and these 5 bad examples. Well, let's just try to keep an eye on the bad examples. Fast forward 35 years later, and it's like, it's 90% terrible.
Yeah.
And the author covers like 4 different industries. Real estate was a fascinating one. Retail, real estate, health, and what was the 4th? Media. Kind of the 4 big industries that private equity has like sunk their claws into.
Yeah.
And she ends the book on kind of an optimistic note, like citizens fighting back. But I prefer it when these books end with like nothing but like despair, because I feel like that's what we need to hear. But it's like reading about private equity and all the things like it feels like private equity should not be allowed to be in health and real estate, because what they do with it, it's not that they couldn't be. It's that like, no, we bought up all these poor buildings and now we're kicking all the people out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. Hey, we bought your hospital because you needed funds with bank debt, of course, that you now owe. And we're stripping you for parts and we're getting rid of like various services. And she actually points out in the book the different ways that like, no, it could work. They just choose their model because it's efficient and the market likes it for stock value and shareholders like it. But it's not helping anybody except those people. It's the biggest. I'm sorry. It's a scam at this point. Yeah. It's a goddamn scam. And I know I'm not a financial genius. I don't understand so much of this garbage. I'm going to start reading books on crypto next to further confuse myself with bullshit. But reading this, it's like so obvious. And of course, Elizabeth Warren wrote a bill that would have, I forget some of the things that she would have done with it. And it, of course, failed because the Senate is bought by private equity. And you know me, Mike, I'm a very, hey, man, vote blue no matter who. If it's a corporate Democrat, so if it's a lefty, have it out in the primary. Mm-hmm. And then we all know that Republicans are still the bigger problem. But the private equity thing is crazy. Which brings me to an important question for you. Why did Bruce Springsteen sell his catalog to private equity, just like Bob Dylan and so many other people? Defend Bruce Springsteen, you Jersey native.
Well, I don't think that there's anything to necessarily defend. I mean, to your point about the big industries that they're in, I guess this would fall under media.
And maybe these catalogs aren't the same kind of deal as what they do with like huge industries. Like maybe they're just going, no, we have the cash for this. We're just going to own your shit and use it. So the Springsteen catalog might not be the same. It probably isn't actually, because it's not like Bruce Springsteen's going to owe debt on himself.
No, I don't think so.
Right. So
he gets the money.
They probably pay for this just out of pot, like they out of their piggy bank. And
I would think I would think that money people probably look at something like this as an asset. No matter how they use it, whether they
the Verizon commercial is coming soon.
Well, right, but that's realistically, I would think they probably have ways to make money off of it that I'm not even aware of. Yeah. But what can they really do with his?
Anything they want. They can commercialize it, put it in. They have the IP, and IP is king now.
Of course.
So it's. I'm joking with the Springsteen because my guess is that Springsteen's exchange is not the same as we bought up this hospital that we're going to ruin, or this newspaper that we're going to destroy,
or real estate, like you said, where they're kicking out.
Private equity has gotten in. They're going to get into water soon. I guarantee it. They're going to can we the guy from Nestle, Bill Burr, joked about it in his act, was trying to buy water.
Yeah,
and at the end of The Big Short. I remember I read the book and then I saw the movie. And at the end of the movie, one of the main guys who saw it coming, he was like, he's now shorting a new thing, water. Mm-hmm. And that's how the movie ends. Just kind of like, oh, you thought it was bad? It's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah.
And I just think it's almost like private equity has gotten into the industries they shouldn't be allowed to be in based on their business practice. News.
Yeah.
Health, shelter, and retail. Okay, fuck retail. Okay, you can kill retail. No, I'm kidding. But I'm saying retail is important as a major job provider. Even though everybody now just lives on Amazon and doesn't know how to be in a store. Mm-hmm. But the other three, and I'm not trying to throw retail under the bus, but the other three should be hard no. And it's a very interesting book. It really just makes everything clear, and you see maybe this author is coming from a certain perspective and there's some other side to it. But every time you hear private equity just bought Walgreens, and I was like, see you, Walgreens.
Right.
I joked, but I was also like, I guess you're going soon.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to believe Walgreens is kicking ass now. Those private equity people really turn the ship around. No. Yeah. They're going to be like, CVS, you want some extra candy?
Yeah.
We got a stockpile of it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just found it interesting, of course, that there were some Democrats who struck down, I guess, Elizabeth Warren's bill and some other bills that have come out that were less ambitious. But as always, you can count on 20% of Democrats to not do the right thing and 100% of Republicans to not do the right thing. And that's the messed up. That's why I always say when it comes down to it, I'm still going to ride with Democrats all day, every day, because the good guys in the fight are on the Democratic side. I'm not saying the side is 100% perfect, but if you're looking for good guys, you will find them in the Democrats. And if you're looking for Republicans to do the right thing, you're an idiot. So it's unfortunate, but it's a good book. And did I write? Ow, cracked shoulder. What does that say? I said, yeah, no, we did so much on fear of flying that I think we can make this a shorter segment. This has almost turned into a glorified book review of mine, but that's okay. You get a little sample of what I sound like when I'm doing the book reviews.
Yeah.
But private equty, it's just another one of those things that if I were to run for office, Mike.
Yes.
If.
In a hypothetical world
where an alpha male, charismatic, empathetic, entertainer / thinker, lawyer, thought leader, maybe, would run. Private equity would be one of those things where I'd just be shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
And it's weird because there are times where I go, oh, maybe I do sound like a democratic socialist or a Bernie, but I don't. And in the book, actually, one last thing from the book that I found interesting, in the housing portion, in the part where they're following this woman who's being evicted from her building because private equity bought it. She said she even though her politics kind of align with Bernie, they were surprisingly, she was kind of angry at Bernie. And she said, he keeps talking Medicare for all. It's easy to have I am offering utopia. I am offering, even though I'm saying utopia in a practical sense. Is it the right policy? Yes. Is it going to happen? anytime soon? No way.
Right.
Just start like that's the issue. If you think Medicare for all, one single payer health system, agreed. We are at a crisis point in so many areas of life that, yes, I agree. But I live in the real world, and riling people up with like, we have to have, like I was going to say a minimum wage thing, but Medicare for all is not happening anytime soon. Sorry. Even if it's the right policy. So what, and her thing was just like, but he could be helping us now on like housing things, or there are other working class people issues that put your mouth and your platform and your far left crew into finding, this is kind of in a way my argument, which is like, bring that energy, pull the Democrats towards you. Mm-hmm. Hillary Clinton, for Christ's sakes, the boogeyman of the far left, she got pulled to the left by Bernie. That's a good thing. That doesn't mean give up on Hillary Clinton. It means keep pressuring Hillary Clinton, but not abandon Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And with something like private equity, I am stunned that like there is so little movement on this. That's what's disturbing. It's not even taught. You don't even hear a lot about it. That's what's disturbing to me, because you can talk all about billionaires, and this is a class of billionaires that's really scummy. Mm-hmm. Either by trade or by ethics or both. I'm sure somebody got into this business 25 years ago and was like, I'm just a financial genius. And they don't realize yet that they're like stepping on, slaves to get to their like shower. They're like, kneel down. I want to put my feet on your back, slave. How did I get here? How did I get to having slaves? I was just trying to come up with some financial instruments 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think private equity just feels like such an easy such an easy target, and that so much good could be done reining them in. And then when they say things like they want to eliminate these kind of fees or like these kind of tax provisions, but then people won't do it anymore. Good. Good. I'm sorry that you're no longer incentivized to destroy society. I'm sorry that the bottom line no longer makes sense to ruin millions of lives. Oh, well, I guess do something else. And we'll be back with Comedy Talk. And we're back. Mike, how was that break?
Stressful.
Yeah. By now, they either have no idea why or they very much know why.
Right. What a tease.
Isn't that great? Like,
what a back-end tease.
They'll be like, what happened? Or they'll be like, Mike.
Yeah.
A quick punch down of the week this week. It's just a very easy one. On one of my very highly viewed Instagram videos in the last week, mm-hmm. A fan just wrote, JL Cauvin nails him. Could have left it at that.
Yeah.
But they didn't, Brother Mike. Brother Mike, they had to go one more sentence and ruin it. Remember Sarah Cooper from Trump 1.0? And there's your punch down of the week.
Oh, no. If they only knew how much you hate Sarah Cooper.
No. See, that's no. What Sarah Cooper represents.
Right. Okay, that's right.
That's nothing. Live your life.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yeah.
That's very different to be dislike the person or dislike your career getting sidetracked because people fell in love with lip sync for 6 months.
Yep.
Critical 6 months for me, Mike.
Yep.
Critical.
What a weird thing that happened.
It's very on brand for me, I think.
Yeah.
Very on brand for me, but very weird for the world.
Yeah.
Now, the special I watched, I was going through different specials and not enjoying what I was seeing. So I said, let me go to an old reliable, Joe List.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his special Small Ball, which came out 2 months ago. By the way, my special is at $175K right now.
Nice.
So I think we're gonna march to the 200 mark. It's an absolute win.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. If you haven't watched Trump versus Canada on my YouTube channel, please watch it, share it with friends. It's really good. Just because you're my friend also doesn't mean you can't share it. I know it's not cool to do that. You don't want to look like too much of a homer to your friends. But anyway, watch Small Ball with Joe List. Very funny. It was just what I needed. I was like, I like Joe. I like his comedy. I'm sure this is going to be strong. Love the fact that we both drink Emperor's Cloud tea at Starbucks. Heard him say that. I like Emperor's Cloud and Mist. And I was like, yeah, that's what I get. Look at us. But it was a very, very good special. But that's the same thing I said a couple of weeks ago about Jim Norton's special. I'm now at this point, I'm not looking for comics that align with me or that are old familiars, but it's like trusting old school comics who had at least 5 years to 10 years of experience before social media as stand-up comics. Mm-hmm. There's just a different vintage. There's a different flavor to it. It's not like grasping and trying to be a thing. It's like, I do this in my sleep. I am. It's the same way when LeBron James, was it LeBron James who described this? But there was a New Yorker article about the current NBA and how a lot of veteran players don't like the new players in terms of their style because they've all gone to factories and prep schools and camps and like, in ninth grade, we sent him to the Institute of Athletic Education. Yeah. And now they play a certain way. They drill a certain way. Whereas like even LeBron talked about, he played on his high school team. You think LeBron James would be on a high school team now? No. In sixth grade, he'd be sent to some academy. Yeah. And have a brand, like a brand and social media and like specialized training. So some of his game came from I would go to the park. He's like the last generation to be like, I play at the park. You improvise. You play with different people. It's like jazz, man. And now it's all auto-tune. It's like the auto-tune of sports versus jazz, if you will, or jamming or like whatever, like anything old musicians do. Where now they're like, I'm on my iMac and boop 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 boop. So. That's how I feel when I watch a guy like Joe List. I go, this is somebody from the same era who you're just going to get a different comic experience. So Joe List, Small Ball, really funny special, really enjoyable. Check out a lot of his stuff. He's a very, very good comic. He's an excellent comic. And that's it. I got nothing. I just, wanted to share something that I knew would be a recommendation this week instead of like, I watched like 3 different specials for like 15 minutes each. And I was like, I don't want to finish this. So I already know what I'd say about it, but let's watch something that I actually want to enjoy. So that's it, everybody. Remember, DC, Philly, Charlotte, the Patreon, read my blog, listen to my other podcast, Making Podcasts Great Again. Give this one a nice review somewhere. Tell a friend, buy a Cameo. Don't sit on my lap if you're an elderly woman who loves Trump. See you next Thursday.